See that interview his wife had the other day? She's happy to be out of Vancouver too.
Oh man, I didn't see that. Honestly, I try to stick to the players as far as what they're saying when it comes to their family life. That's their family life. I really don't care.
The NHL started this podcast where 2 NHL hockey wives interview other hockey wives. Don't ask me how I started watching it, but I was glued for an hour. I couldn't stop watching it. It was interesting. It was an interesting watch.
And what are your thoughts on it? Do you like it?
Well, so they interviewed JT's wife, and they're asking her about the trade, and she just kept talking about how she was so upset, how she was on a girls' trip for the Canucks wives. And I thought to myself, way to make it about yourself. Your husband just got traded, and you're upset that you're on the girls' trip. It's getting cut short, but you got way more personality than you did from the players. She's talking about the impact that she's having in the community, things that she does like, the things that she doesn't like, about some of the hate that they've dealt with in Vancouver, and some stories with the other wives as well, and moving there. And how the teams have or haven't accommodated. Let's say with the Rangers, we'll move your car out there, we'll move your pets, we'll make sure there's an apartment, we'll make sure this is taken care of. The Canucks, they didn't do that. It was honestly an interesting listen. It was a really interesting listen.
I think it's dangerous, only because I know there are players out there that will use any sort of mental warfare they can, and they will literally pull right from that.
100%.
Right from that transcript and use it against a guy on the ice.
Well, and we took some heat the other week for talking about Dylan Sandberg and having his wife, Dr. Sandberg, on TikTok. But this is the thing that a lot of people don't realize. You have your man who's chasing excellence in the NHL, where the media are a bunch of snakes who are looking to grab anything they can and run with it. And you're going to see somebody's hockey wife in the next couple of years. They're just going to post something, not malicious, not purposeful to try to do anything bad, but they're just going to post something because women love flexing the lifestyle. A man says, I love you. Woman says, I business you. Hey, we're at a nice restaurant. Hey, here's where we're living, whatever. And the media's going to pick it up. They're going to run with it. And I think that the one thing that a lot of these hockey wives don't understand is that when you have an Austin Matthews, Kyle Connor, Gabe Vilardi, these high-end players, there's dudes in Winnipeg, obviously not us, but there's dudes in rooms checking out Instagram stories looking for somebody to get. Same thing in Toronto, same thing anywhere else. And when you're posting that stuff, it's just a bad idea. And that's why, again, with no disrespect, if you're in the NHL, get your wife off TikTok.
Hey, I'm bringing it up again only because I think it proves this point, because we've talked about her before. What's Sidney Crosby's girlfriend's name?
No idea.
Exactly.
But she's not making herself the star of the show.
Exactly.
Do you feel, though, a lot of these hockey wives, like the Vilardi's wife and the Sandberg's wife, etc., they're making it about themselves when it's like you should be a compliment to your man's lifestyle?
Like I said, I mean, the only time I hear about this kind of stuff is when you tell me about it. Other than that, I don't look for it. I'm not on social media. This stuff does not pop up on my algorithm or my feed.
But so you don't have TikTok where all this stuff lives.
Well, exactly. And I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of happy about that. Because if I'm going to criticize Dylan Sandberg, it's going to be on his play. And honestly, he's been playing great. He's playing great at the point where he might actually be trade bait. We could be talking about him moving on in a package deal at some point right before the deadline. I'd rather talk about that rather than thinking about maybe it was the thing that his wife put on. I don't know. I'd rather keep it on the ice for the most part unless something extremely obscure happens.
Why don't you have kids? Instead of making TikToks, go make some babies and have a family. That sounds more fulfilling than making TikToks about your Pilates and your yoga classes. What do you think about that?
Well, look, my wife has a very healthy social media, and in the grand, it makes.
But your wife was a model beforehand. She wasn't trying to build a brand off your brand as a lifestyle.
But it also makes sense for my industry, right? I mean, great. I mean, she's actually reposted some stuff that we put on social media. So, hey, great.
But she champions our stuff.
Of course she does.
She's not trying to take what you do and then turn a side brand off. If you enjoyed what you just saw, we do new clips every single day, twice a day on the Clips channel. You see clips right here. And beside Dave's crotch, we have a full-length show every single Sunday, right by my hand.
Click right here.